I think I need to fix some things. All right, so here is a very, very relevant question to the day and time in which we live. Should Christians get plastic surgery? Now, let me first start off by saying that the Bible does not speak definitively one way or the other on this. And as you guys know by now, it is not my intent to speak dogmatically in areas and in places where the Bible has not yet. And the reason for that is because clearly this wasn't an issue back in the day. This wasn't an option for people who were experiencing a variety of different things, which we're going to talk about in this video. And so therefore the Bible didn't speak on it. Okay. So I'm telling you up front that this video is largely subjective. It's largely my perspective, the wisdom that I believe God has given me on this particular subject. And so if you disagree, that's fine, but this is really more so my perspective. Now, with all that being said, I want to talk about 4 different types of plastic surgery in this video. And so, because it's not so cut and dry, it's not so black and white where you're like, okay, yeah, Christians should just go and do whatever they want, or no, by no means, Christians should never do plastic surgery. And so hopefully after you go through this video, you'll have a much clearer idea of how to proceed. And so the first category that I want to talk about is what I'll call reconstructive, right? So this is reconstructive. And this is where somebody has experienced some sort of trauma in their life, maybe from a car accident, or they have a scrape on their face or a scar on their face, or maybe they had breast cancer, and as a result, they had to get a mastectomy. So both of their breasts removed, and they don't want to go through the rest of their life without having any breasts, or, they don't want to go through their life with half of their face deformed or whatever. And so there is this option to get that fixed, right? And so the question is it okay in this situation? And from my perspective, I would personally say yes, and here's the reason why. The reason why is because the person's motivation is more than likely not from a vain perspective, but it's more so, hey, let me just get back and return to the way God created me, right? God didn't create me with a deformity on my face. God didn't create me with a totally flat chest if I'm a woman, right? And so my goal here is not to just show off and be flashy. I just want to get back to the person that God had originally intended me to be. And so if that's the case and you find yourself in that situation, me personally, I'd say, you know what, you've got the green light, go ahead and do that. Now, the next category is closely related to that, and I don't even know what to call it. I'll call it normalization. And this is where, somebody maybe has a defect from birth, or maybe there wasn't really any trauma or an accident or cancer or anything like that, but maybe something has started to form on their body. We've seen cases where there's been a large, growth on somebody's face or something like that, and they have the option of getting that removed. And so once again, in this situation, personally, Alan Parr, I would say, you know what, it's okay, because this person's motivation is really more so to get to a place of normalcy, right? They're trying to achieve a level of appearance or attraction that essentially most of the people in this world will say, okay, this is not normal. It's not normal to have a growth coming out of your face. It's not normal to have whatever you want to call it, right? So there's a variety of different things that we can experience that from most people's standards is not normal. And so is plastic surgery okay in these situations? Once again, I would more than likely say yes, because it's highly likely that that person's motivation is not from a place of vanity or selfish ambition. They're just trying to look normal so that they can hopefully avoid any sort of negative emotional damage that may be caused by insensitive people.
When it first appeared, no one noticed because it was just a small lump. Now, if somebody sees it, they gasp. It's still growing. It's getting to the point I can't cover it with my hair. So every day, the anxiety gets worse for me.
Now, category 3 is the one that you more than likely came to this video to get an answer for, and that is what I'll call cosmetic enhancements, right? So this is your Botox, this is your liposuction, this is your breast augmentation, this is your butt implants and all that stuff, right? Nose jobs, lips, and all that stuff, right? So the question is, should we as Christians engage in this? Is it okay if you see something going on in your appearance and you're like, hey, I just want to kind of tone up. I want to kind of tighten that up a little bit. I want to, make some alterations to how I'm looking. Well, for this, let me just give you about 7 questions that I really want you to consider. And I don't want to just say yes or no. I just want you and the Lord just to get together and just pray through these 7 questions. And the first one is, what is my motivation? That more than likely is the most important question you could ask yourself. And please be honest about it, right? Am I getting this to feel better about myself? Am I getting this because there's some sort of emotional void that's going on in my life? Am I doing this to hopefully improve my self-image? Am I doing this to potentially show this off so that other people will finally see what I have going on? Because let me be honest with you. I'm going to break it down and be honest with you. Seldom have I ever met a woman who's gotten a breast augmentation who's kept it hidden. I mean, most of the time when you see a woman who gets a breast augmentation, they're going out, and the first day after they go out with low cut cleavage, right? They're going out trying to show everybody what they got because more than likely throughout their life they were self-conscious because they didn't have big breast, and now this is their opportunity to shine, right? So if this is what you're thinking about, and this is what you're planning, and this is what you're doing, maybe you've already had it, you need to really go to the Lord and ask yourself, is that a godly motivation? And also, I might even be a stumbling block for somebody who may be struggling with certain things, right? So you really have to check your motivation and ask yourself, do I have a pure motivation for why I want to do this? Number 2, am I buying into what the world standards are for beauty? So let me ask you this question. Where and when is the standard of beauty to have full lips, right? Or to have a big butt or a curved butt or big breasts or a nose that is thin or perfect bone structure and all those things? Who said that? Who defined that? Is it in the Bible, right? Is there anywhere in the Bible where God says this is the standard of beauty? So you have to make sure you're not buying into the culture of the standard of beauty, which, by the way, is always changing, right? Because there was a time when full lips weren't in. There was a time when curved butts weren't in. So you have to ask yourself the question, is that why I'm doing this? And is that a proper motivation? Now, somebody may say, well, hey, you know what? What if I go to the dentist and my teeth are all jacked up and they're coming out in different directions? Hey, we don't think anything about getting our braces or having any sort of procedure to correct our teeth. We just get it done. But to that is different, because if you go to any dentist, more than likely they'll say there is a problem going on with your teeth that is causing your teeth to come out in the wrong directions. But if you go to somebody and they say, okay, I want to change my nose, there's nothing generally wrong with you having a wider nose, right? It's just a different nose. There's nothing wrong with it. Or if your lips are thin, there's nothing wrong with having thin lips. So that's the difference. You don't want to compare one thing with the other. Question number 3 is a huge one, and that is someone pressuring me to do this? Now, what I mean here is sometimes you'll have a partner who is either verbally or non-verbally pressuring their partner into having some sort of procedure done, right? We'll just maybe take breast enhancements or whatnot. And so the question you have to really ask yourself is this person who is pressuring me, whether overtly or subtly, is this an act of love, right? And if you're a man that's out there and you're kind of low-key pressuring your woman into having a breast enhancement, you really have to ask yourself, what message am I sending to this woman by telling her that, hey, at one point whenever I married you or got with you, I was content with what you had. I thought you were beautiful. But those days are over now. Stuff is sagging, it's not tight, right? Or, you know what, my desires have changed and you're just not up to it anymore, and you don't do it for me anymore. So no, what I need you to do is I need you to enhance yourself so that I can be more attractive to you, or attracted to you rather. So you have to really ask yourself the question, is that really a proper motivation to do this? And if you're the one doing it, then you need to ask yourself, is it loving for me to ask somebody to go under the knife to change the very body that God has given them just so I can be more pleased and more attracted to that person? Question number 4, is it excessive? And this is going to be a quick one, right? So am I spending a whole bunch of money on this? Is this something that I'm doing again and again and again, or is this just kind of one-off thing, right? Because oftentimes it doesn't just stop with the nose. Once you get this, then you got to get this, then you got to get the stretch, you got to get the liposuction, then you got to get the wrinkles out of your face, then you want to get some fat out of your stomach, and then you go, okay, well, let me do this, okay? So it becomes excessive to where you become obsessed with attaining some sort of physical perfection in your body, which is not possible on this side of heaven. Question number 5, have you done everything you can to naturally enhance your beauty, right? So before you start going into unnatural things and surgery and things like that, have you made all the attempts possible to work on yourself from a natural perspective so that you can enhance your beauty that way? Number 6, have I considered all of the potential side effects or risks associated with this? Listen, not all plastic surgeries are the same, and some of them go really bad really quick. So you have to really assess, okay, am I willing to take the risk that something may go wrong in the surgery and I might be permanently damaged in a certain way, or I may have to have another surgery on top of this to correct it. Question number 7, will this improve my health in some way? So perfect example would be not a breast augmentation, but a breast reduction, right? So if I get the size of my breast reduced, so is that going to improve my quality of life? Maybe I'm having back problems and the doctor's recommending that I do this. So you need to really consider whether that is the case as well. Now, this 4th category is what I'll call anti-aging. And this is the idea of, okay, you know what? I'm getting older. I'm seeing wrinkles in my skin. I'm seeing different things going on in my body. And so I would like to do whatever I can to try to reverse this curse of aging because I don't like how I'm aging, right? Now, I think John Piper has a really good answer on this, and I'm going to go ahead and let you guys see this clip.
Age is a gift in the Bible. Getting old and I suppose losing your hair, having some gray hair is a gift. It's a sign of having been kept by God and having been brought toward ripening for heaven. And to resist it is, it seems to me, a kind of unbelief in heaven is really good, and living a long time with God is good, and having the experience and the age to care in deeper ways for the young and share life wisdom with them is good. Why would we want to be young looking when we're old?
So essentially, if I can sum up what John Piper said, he basically is saying that, look, getting older in the sight of God is a beautiful thing. It's a sign, if you're a believer, that you're actually getting closer to the day that you are going to see your Savior face to face. Why would you try to come against that and try to do some things that would alter that natural process of aging, which God in His Word says is a beautiful thing? So, should Christians get plastic surgery? Well, I'm not going to necessarily say no, you should never do it, because I don't have biblical mandate to say that. And I'm also not going to say, yeah, go ahead and get as much as you want until you look the way you want. I think this is an issue of conscience. I think this is an issue of motivation. I think you should pray about this. I think you should make sure God is giving you peace about your situation. I think you should also talk to other people that you respect. But I also think you should consider this. Sometimes whenever you get plastic surgery, to be honest with you, it is so obvious that you have had something done that the embarrassment that you're going to deal with because people who knew you before are now able to see that you clearly had something done very well may be greater than the embarrassment had you just left yourself the way you are. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever gotten plastic surgery? Do you plan on it? Have you considered it? Have you ever thought about this question? Let me know in the comment section below and let's talk about it. If you found this video helpful in any way, feel free to share it with a friend. Also, if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you would subscribe. Check out some of the other videos on this channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time on The Beat.